Moving on to some other news on DD India News. Populist leader Geert Wilders' Freedom Party has won the Netherlands elections in a victory that's set to send shockwaves across Europe. With almost all the votes counted, Freedom Party has won 37 seats, much ahead of its nearest rival, a left-wing alliance. But in order to become the Prime Minister and form the government, Wilders will have to convince other parties to join a coalition with him. Now this, as he needs 76 seats for a majority in the 150-member parliament. Wilders has held an anti-EU and anti-immigration stance. In a victory speech, he vowed to bring an end to what he calls tsunami of asylum and immigration.
I'm in politics for 25 years now, and this is the happiest day of my life so far in politics. We became the #1 party by far. I mean, it's what a lot of people, if you would have asked them a year ago, would call you mad, and it happened today. So I'm very proud, I'm very happy, and it brings along a lot of feeling of responsibility.
And my colleague Trent Murray now joins us from Berlin. Trent, what more can you tell us about Geert Wilders, the man, and his politics? And generally speaking, what do these election results mean for the Netherlands?
Well, I think a lot of pollsters and analysts will be dusting themselves off this morning after this political earthquake, which has really shaken Dutch politics and its political establishment to the core. For 25 years, Geert Wilders has really been on the fringe of Dutch politics. He made a name for himself with his hardline approach to the issue of immigration, particularly people coming to the Netherlands of the Islamic faith. He has promised in the past to close down mosques, to ban the opening of Islamic schools, even to ban the teaching of the Quran. It's worth noting he has toned down that rhetoric somewhat during this campaign, but nobody saw this coming. We knew that he was polling at an okay level, somewhere in the middle of the pack, but for him to come out as the #1 party really has shocked a lot of people, not just in the Netherlands, but within Europe. I mean, he is sometimes described in many ways as the Dutch Donald Trump, and not just because of his peroxide blonde hair. He's very much an outsider, somebody that goes against the grain, and is a politician that for decades other parties have simply refused to work with. Well, it will be very difficult, I think, for those mainstream political parties now to ignore him and his presence within the parliament. As you say, he came out of last night's vote with the largest vote share, 37 seats, just shy of half of the magic number needed in order to try and get a majority.
Now, Trent, these are early days, but looking ahead, how easy or difficult would it be for Wilders and his party to form a coalition government?
Look, I think it will be difficult because traditionally, as I say, the mainstream political parties have refused to work with him and his party because of their politics. In many ways, it's quite poisonous and repulsive to many of the other parties there. But I think what we really need to look out for is whether he can cobble together the numbers in order to try and form a coalition. Certainly, some of the smaller far-right populist parties would likely support him, but he needs to reach the magic number of 76. That would give him a majority in the 150-seat parliament. He goes into those negotiations already with 37 seats, but it will be a challenge. Nevertheless, he says he is ready to govern, that the electorate has sent a strong message. But the other factor in all of this that we need to watch out for is, could the other main political groupings put aside their traditional ideology? So I'm talking centre-right, centrist, even centre-left. Could they put aside those differences in order to try and create a grand coalition to block him from power? That is very much a real possibility. And just finally, it is worth noting, this is very much part of a trend we are seeing in Europe, these right-wing populist groups doing very well at the ballot box. We saw it in Italy with Giorgia Meloni. This morning, many of them are celebrating, including here in Germany. The AfD, Alternative for Deutschland party, has celebrated this win, as has Marine Le Pen from France, her National Front party, putting out a statement of support, saying it could be the start of many things to come across other parts of the EU.
Trent, thank you for now. Much appreciated. That was Trent Murray reporting from Berlin.